Yep. Okay. We're live. Whoops. Messed it up a few times. Um, you might be wondering why I look like this. And I'll tell you. Let me get all of the links correct, and then we're just gonna get ripping. What a wild move, Amber. What a wild move. Anyways, welcome to Office Hours with Amber. I'm Amber. This is Office Hours. This is week 4. Last month I didn't do week 4 as a live stream because I was like, "Ugh, it's not working correctly, blah blah." Um, and this week I don't care. So we're just gonna do the live stream as normal. And I need to go delete the other one because people are gonna be in the wrong one. Hee hee, oops. That's okay. Life's gonna go on. Um, but yeah, okay, so this is the community call, and if no one shows up, it's going to be me and you chit-chatting about how the month went. And if people do show up, you'll get to hear all sorts about the community members and what they've been up to. Usually during this call, I want to ask people kind of getting to know you questions a little deeper than the surface, give people a chance to either talk about what they accomplished, seek support, hang out for the vibes. Really, we'll get there. While we wait, I'm gonna go fix my stuff because there we go. We'll delete that one. Okay. The live stream is live streaming. This is good. I would never know what to say when it says like, it's like, is this stream made for kids? No, not at all. Okay, closing that page, closing that page. I think it's working. Perfect. Discord is discording. Okay, vibes. Okay, so before I get started, I think you might be wondering, Amber, what's this about? And that's a great question. This is really the physical manifestation of how my month went. I believe in my heart that I am a war hero because Power Queer really took me for a ride. So first and foremost, oh, closing out some other things, closing out some other things. Glow Getter of the Month. Yes. Power Query really took me for a ride. So if you were unaware, I've been working on this project in Power Query for a client that is a forecasting system. Originally, this product had, or this, client had like 10 to 30 Excel sheets they'd use a month, and all with varying levels of data quality, a lot of copy pasting, a lot of how to describe a lot of opportunity, we'll say. Oh, we've got Emily joining. Emily, how are we?
Hey, good. How are you?
Oh, peachy keen. I'm in full costume. So happy to have you. Um, this is live stream, so if you don't want to be on camera, I totally understand.
No,
But
that's okay. I just gotta get it going. But I didn't.
perfect.
Uh, yeah, no
But
costume for me.
no worries. It was more so there was two options. At 5 p.m., I was like, I could shower and look nice, or we can look like a damn idiot. And I chose the latter. Um, and so the funny thing is, okay, so this getup is basically the physical manifestation of how my month went because Power Query really just punched me in the face. And then I came back as like a war hero. And so that is why I am dressed full Lara Croft today, to represent
Nice.
the battle that I've just gone through.
Silver
So
love.
it's been a journey. I'm gonna tell a little story about the trials and tribulations, and then we'll kind of get back more into you because I want to hear all about your month because I saw the notes that you had left. Super excited. So essentially, with Pet Honesty, we had this product. We've been working on this for 6 months. It's like a forecasting modeling system. And with that, let me put my Zoom up here so I can see you. La, 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 la. There we go. Okay. Been working on this for 6 months. Everything was going awesome. We went and like in January, something had gone wrong, but whatever, we fixed it. We've got Liana jumping on. We had fixed it. And then the second I left for London, it completely just like all the Power Queries that were running all of these beautiful, like we'd set up databases and like data memorialization and all this stuff. We'd set that all up and then we went to London and then the tool stopped refreshing. Like I press refresh and then it would like look like it was ready to be like it was almost done. And then poof, 40 minutes go by and it would just like not move. And we had not changed anything in the sheet, or at least I hadn't, but like there's no way to really know. And so I've never encountered an error like that where it literally just is illogically wound up on itself. And so the problem is, especially with ADHD, anything that is like a holding period of time murdered me. And so that is why, again, war hero here. I am fully decorated, but I digress. So I would like adjust a little, like the last thing, I basically worked backwards from what we had just added. And so I would comment out a few of the advanced editor things and then I'd press refresh. It would lock up again, but I wouldn't know for another 20 minutes. And I didn't want to, I then started having to edit my advanced editor Power Query M stuff in Word, paste it in so that I didn't lose all of the progress I had just had. And
Yay.
so then it would lock up. I would get sidetracked an hour later. I'd be like, oh shit, like that thing. Hey, Liana, thank you for joining. Oh, love the chess. Love, I'm in
Yeah.
for the theme. Um, I'm telling the horror stories and the wartime stories from the
Oh,
last
hence the
months.
war paint.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, anyway, so I would like work back. It took 4 days of working backwards just to find out there's no answer to like why my Power Query just locked up on itself. So I just copy pasted all my queries over to a new sheet, refreshed immediately. And I don't know if you guys have ever encountered that. I've seen a lot in Excel, but that I've never seen before. So of course I like to have all my pivot tables and all that directly. Oh,
Hey, Benjo.
Banjo's tired of my stuff already. He's like, please be normal. Never. Um, Copy pasted. And so all of the nice thing about the tool completely shitting the bed is that I got to rebuild it from scratch. But like I already had built it twice before. So I'm like, okay, this time I'm going to make it as clean as possible. All the best practices, all of the best dynamic arrays, everything I learned from the last 2 months, just put it all in there. So did all of that, finished at 5 a.m. this morning. So that is why I am a decorated war hero. We've made it. But I've learned a lot about Power Query, which is really exciting because a lot of, I think, the previous issues was that I would have a big data set and then I would do some like things I didn't know how to do in Power Query. And then I'd like sum if them into like a calculated column just to like attach it to what was happening. And it's hard to describe without showing you, but a lot of sideline activity that I think was causing some like issue. But now it works fine. And it refreshes in 2 minutes instead of 40. So God bless.
Awesome.
But enough about me. Emily, tell us all about how your month went.
So it's good. So I finished. So right before I broke my ankle, I'd started a blanket. I was crocheting a blanket, and so that's what I did when all I could do was sit in the lazy boy. So I finished that.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So that was a big finish, and that was one item on my bingo sheet that I did. And yeah, rest of the stuff is going okay. So like on my personal stuff, there's like 2 things that aren't quite gonna get done, most likely, but the rest of them are like, if I just keep going through the week, they'll be good because they're like, do this for February. So, I'm at 24 days out so far, so that should be good. And then for work, I got all of my organizing stuff. I was practicing regex. So I was like looking and I'm like, because you can really go down a rabbit hole with that. And I was just like, I just want to do enough for like what's likely to come up in the cases, which is, like extract text, extract numbers, extract certain things. So I didn't go too far down, but I did manage to practice that. And then the other one was that it was supposed to do all of the cases from the bracket last year. And obviously those ones, there were some really hard ones in there. So I'm not finished practicing all of those ones yet. So I don't think I'll get through all of those by Friday because it's not reading week anymore anyway. So gotta go back to school.
That's a
It,
lot of things.
I know. I was like overwhelmed just listening to it. I mean, I can't even imagine having to do all of that stuff.
So no, this is good, and I'm happy. So because like just right now, like I don't have a lot of contracts going on, so I've got through all of my classroom prep. Like my lessons are prepped till the end, and the midterms written, and the draft of the exam is written. It's not submitted and finalized yet, but so yeah. So all I got to do now is keep up with like the actual teaching and the marking because all the prep's done. So that's gonna help.
That's awesome. Quick question. Do we get to see the blanket or is it like a secret
It is not
blanket?
a
Show the blanket.
secret,
Show
but
the
I
blanket.
will. If you want to get Leanna's to do her update, I'll go get it. And I will
Yes.
show you.
Perfect.
It's pretty cool, and it's actually Jack is working on the same one now. That was for Christmas.
What?
Oh my gosh, fun.
Yeah, I'll go get it.
Blanket buddies.
Perfect. Okay, Leanna, spill the tea. I mean, you're still traveling, right? Or are you back home now?
Yeah, I'm in Australia for another 2 weeks.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
so yeah, my January goal was to get into some sort of hiking shape. And then last week I was out doing a bunch of hikes and I only had to take one exhaustion nap in the tent. And so I call that a success for January.
That's so impressive. I sometimes when people talk about getting in shape, I'm like, circles of shape, man. I'm
Yep.
it.
Yep, that
That's
counts as a
awesome.
shape. And then, so for February, I wanted to play a game of chess against a real person. And then I sent that photo of me playing giant novelty lawn chess. But I think I still want to play like Lichess, like a real game online, because that was the intent. So I got to get over my fear of interacting with strangers online and do that.
Feel that. Okay, reveal the blanket.
Blanket.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
blurry, but it's huge.
That is
It's not. It's
humongous.
not that. Like it's not like a single sized. It's a nap on the couch, perfect size.
That is a perfect nap on the couch. And that's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
You made that.
yeah. So it's actually looks harder than it is because it's just one big giant ball of yarn that changes colors as you go through. So yeah, I didn't have to do the colors. So I just had to.
Oh.
It.
That's
How big
incredible.
is the yarn when
Sorry.
it starts? Is it like, how big is the yarn? Is it
It
like
was
as big as
3 kilometers. It's like it's pretty thin yarn. It's like
What?
it's pretty fine, but the ball
It's
is
3 kilometers?
like this. No, it was like this big. It's really fine yarn. It's like
Okay. Since we're on the topic of yarn, Liana, keep talking about your stuff and then I will show you my
Oh
progress on
man,
my
show and tell.
it's nothing like that.
Yeah, I'm basically done with the updates, but your yarn ball reminds me of, does Canada have the world's largest ball of yarn type things that you can drive up to, or is that just the US?
I haven't seen Ball of Yarn. This is actually Dutch yarn.
Okay.
This is from yeah,
Okay.
this is Dutch. This company. Oh, the
So
knitting.
this is like started as a really good idea and it's soft and it's fun. The problem is it's dark as hell. And so I have to take this light and like shove it on top to be able to see the seams. And I like got like this headlamp. I look crazy.
Like a coal
But
miner.
yeah, and especially with the makeup, I mean, but the funny thing is I didn't know that if you add a stitch on each end the whole time, it becomes like a semicircle. So it's actually like an accident, like it was supposed to be a blanket and now it's becoming it's like a perfect lap blanket because it's going to expand that way on
Christmas tree
accident.
skirt.
Exactly. So it's what did that one not Richard Simmons. Someone said happy accidents. And that's what this is.
Nice.
But yeah, yours is wicked impressive.
Yeah.
I'm still like having a hard time. I'm like imagining how many kilometers was my yarn. I'm like want to go back and look at the instructions, but
Well, it'll
how
be on the
funny.
ball of yarn. It'll tell you. Yeah.
Okay, we've learned something today.
Yeah. It'll give you a link
Yeah.
usually.
Huh.
How funny. Okay, I have another question. You attended a networking event and it went better than expected. What was
Yes.
like expectations going? Like what kind of networking event was it?
So it was like a lunch. So because like I really, really hate, you know, lunches and cocktail hours and stuff and conferences and just talking to people that you don't know. I really hate that.
Unless it's Excel, then it's like my
Well,
people.
even
Yeah,
then,
it's
like
fun.
going to Vegas, not last year, but the first time was just really terrifying. That's
Yeah.
so yeah, anyways, but so I signed up for this committee so that ideally, because this way I was like, oh well, this way I can go to events, because if I've got a job, then it's not as bad if you just kind of sitting in a corner, you get a job or you're like registering people or whatever. But anyway, so one of the people that I met with there actually was someone who was the year behind me at university. And so he offered to buy me a ticket with some students because they have like this sponsored package for students. So we went to this, they have these monthly lunches. So we went to that and had a presentation. It was actually on hiring people with neurodiversity and, you know, expanding the talent pool. So it was kind of neat. But yeah, and then turned out I actually knew a couple people who were there and had things to talk about with some people. So it was good. But
That's so exciting when like, I don't know, the vibes are right. I hate when you go to a networking event or something and then everyone's trying to sell you something or like that you try to talk to people and then it just like falls flat immediately. But that's exciting that it went well. And now we're double clicking into that, but hiring with neurodiversity, did they have any like interesting insights on that or?
so yeah, so what they're saying is like just because my name, you know, has this reputation, they call it, you know, um, male, pale, and stale, right? That's what they.
I've never heard that.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Yeah. That's sort of like in a lot of, you know, leadership positions, that's what you get. And they're starting, you know, it's getting better, but that's traditionally what you'll see. And so they're like, well, if that's your talent pool, right? And then you add in that, you know, probably what, like it's like 20% of people are neurodivergent. This is like you're starting to now work with like a pretty small proportion of the available talent out there. And, you know, for some jobs, like obviously, you know, certain physical disabilities are not safe or feasible to accommodate, but more and more they are, because like if you've got like automated and teleremote, then yeah, physical disabilities are not really a limiting factor. Or certain physical disabilities are not limiting. And but yeah, and they're like, but yeah, so they were sort of talking about how you have to make sure that you're going to get all these people because we've got this labor shortage. And so you got to make sure you get everybody. And what do you have to do to, one, attract people with neurodiversity, and also then how do you not screen out perfectly good candidates because just because your selection criteria are based on neurotypical people. So they're like, you're probably screening out some very good candidates, but who just aren't testing well if you don't have the right criteria. And so they had this panel. So one of the ladies was neurodivergent and had, you know, diagnosed late in life and had, you know, a whole series of things. And the other one was someone like a colleague who was neurotypical and worked with her, and sort of some of the things that they came across to be more efficient as a team. And and whatnot. But yeah, the first lady, she was like, she's like, it's like, look, I've got 20 years of marketing experience and I do all of this. And I look at a lot of these entry-level jobs and I wouldn't qualify for them because just of the way that they're posting these things. And it doesn't, yet I'm eminently qualified for them, but in real life, but not on paper. So there's
interesting.
some things to do that. Yeah. So like, so just one of the examples that they were given was, is that, because of like, a lot of neurodivergent people have this hyper focus. And so you can sort of say something in passing and then they take it and run with it. And the next thing you come back and they're like, yeah, I did this project for you. And you're like, that was just kind of an idea I was floating to think about if we even wanted to do it. You were supposed to stay on your priority list, right? So just to communicate. So she's like, look, now whenever I have like a random idea, I'm like, yeah. So, but this is just a, we're thinking about it. Do not do anything about it. Just keeping you in the loop. So she has to be, she's like, look, I have to be really, really clear. Do not run with this because otherwise, yeah, it'll get done.
That's hilarious and specifically relevant for my everyday because we've got, I think my business partner, Matt, is like some special brand of autism, like not joking. There's got to be something going on there. And then me, ADHD as fuck. And so the problem is the yin to the yang here. His form of joking is saying anti-truths, and my form of joking is saying brutal truths. And so he'll say these things that are 180 of the reality. And so there's one day where he said like 6 or 7 things, just 180 of reality. So by the end of the day, I was like, do you think this lowly of me? He's like, I've been joking all day long. What are you doing? And I was like, you said all of these just horrible, not true statements about me that I've been sitting on all day. So similarly, like same thing with like task initiation is if you say something is like, especially if he's saying something is bothering him, like, or, one of our intern, if one of them is saying like, oh, this process is la 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 la, I'll go into hyperdrive fix it mode and then just go do stuff. And it's the same kind of hyperfixation thing. So what I've found, and when you were saying the partners, like partnering up on stuff, I found I'm a great opener, but I need a closer. So like I got ideas, I got structure, I know exactly like the vision of what I'm trying to do, but I need someone to like I can get it 90% of the way there. And then the last 10%, you got to have someone else to be the executor because cannot be bothered. And that is why this month has been so huge because for me to actually close out a to-do list for a client, I mean, did I close it out a month late? Yes, absolutely I did. However, it got done. War hero.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think the more we kind of not expose, but like are truthful about like how ADHD and autism, like neurodiversity in general, like presents itself, it's easier to work with because you don't think the person is just being lazy or obsessive or whatever. It's like, oh no, there's like a spot in my brain that logically, like there's a logical process that got me here. So that's cool that it's being talked about in like presentations and networking stuff.
Yeah, so that one was specifically about that. But then there's the other, there's just another anecdote that I came across this week, and they're like, okay, there's, we got a lot of snow, and they're like, someone in a wheelchair is waiting for the ramp to get shoveled, and and the maintenance guy says, okay, I'm almost done with the steps, and then I'll do the ramp. And he's like, yes, but if you had started with the ramp, we could have all used it.
Yeah.
So if you do, like, and so people are like, some people, yes, will need accommodations, but a lot of these accommodations are really not a big deal. It's just really asking people how they work best. And you can ask anybody how they work best. And there's no one solution to that. So it's, it just, some people like to be given things one job at a time so they don't get distracted. And some people want to see the big picture and whatnot. But so doing the things that make it easier for neurodiverse people can also make it better for other people.
Exactly. That's kind of, it loops back to when I was talking to Eric about, oh, I manifested him into existing on this call. That's crazy. I like half of a second said, I'll wait for him to hop on. Eric, how are you?
What's up?
We literally manifested you into existence. This is so funny. We were
Really?
talking about how creating like accessibility or like to gave up a good example of um the maintenance person shoveling the ramp or the stairs. And if they would have shoveled the ramp first, they could have been able to go on their way, and the people who took the stairs could have still done their thing. And so oftentimes, and I'm so butchering that stories, I'm so sorry, but saying like sometimes accessibility helps everyone, not just the person it's intended for. And then I was like circling back to like, oh, a robot is like you made something that helped you, and then it's helping a ton of other people as well. So
And that's when you clicked on.
and I
Oh,
was
really?
literally just about to say, oh, a robot, and then poof, you existed. I was like, whoa.
Ah, very good. My ears must have been ringing
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
preemptively.
To catch you up, I'm dressed like a war hero because I completed a 6-month-long project and fist fought my way through Power Query for the last month. I had to
Was
rebuild the
that
whole
the one that
tool.
you were working on in London?
Mm-hmm.
And you were
Yep.
trying to get it done in London. I know how that is.
Yep. And so the
But
thing is, what a key learning I had this month was if I, there's the two things I've learned very specifically is you have to do it shitty first to do it a little better the next time, to do it really great the third time. However, that wastes so much time, and my ADHD and I were just fighting. So like, and you know, it's bad when you do everything else on your list before the big thing. Like I took out the trash, I vacuumed,
Your
I took my
taxes are done.
close. That's right after. That's like literally next thing on the list. I'm like afraid to do them. I was like, I don't want to look. But like I like even mopped my kitchen, which is like not something necessary until like winter's over, to be honest. And like I even picked up my ADHD meds. Like I went through all of the worst rounds of hell before I sat down and it was like, Amber, none of this is rocket science. It's like you've tackled Excel before. Like, what are we doing? And I that leads me into my first thinker question for everyone. I also want to hear, Eric, about your monthly goals after this. But my first question I posed to the group is, what is something you've been procrastinating, and why are you procrastinating it?
am I supposed to, is it my turn?
Yeah, you could start.
Because I'm still procrastinating on the same thing that I've been procrastinating on, which is getting the website, my website out, which is blocking everything because there's all these
Yep.
people on my waiting list that want OA Robot, and I'm not willing to give it out until I get the website up. So, and there's just like a bunch of content. I'm just not a writer, and I hate everything I write. So when I'm not, I feel like I'm not good at something. It's just so easy to procrastinate on it. And so I keep spending more time on some of the pro features. I've been testing Power Query commands and my Python commands and stuff like that. And um, nobody cares about those features. They just like want to be able to get their hands on the tool itself. So yeah, that's what I'm procrastinating on. It's not even procrastination. It's like I'm blocked, like mentally blocked.
Yeah.
And when I'm blocked on something, I definitely just find other stuff to work on instead, that I convince myself in my head that it's like higher priority or more urgent, but really it's just it I make it more urgent, but it's not more important. Like the most important thing I should be doing right now is working on that website. And I don't know. My brain is really good at convincing myself that other things are more important.
Would a
I
copy
think
editor help?
What's that?
Would a copy editor help? I
Yes.
can edit.
What's a copy editor? You're hired. I don't know. I don't. But
Copy editor, someone to read your draft and
that would be great if I had a draft.
Oh. Well,
No,
just
it's
Amber just said it. Get it down crappy first, and then you can fix it. You can't fix nothing. You can fix.
And I have had to
Yeah.
swallow
Garbage.
that 6 times. Like, and I feel like, and I've done in 2020, I did the Try New Things challenge. In 2024, I did the Try New Things challenge. But it does not. It like I think there's a false preconception in my brain that it was just doing new and hard and tricky, ugly new things is going to be easier. And it's like, oh no, it's like you get used to the failure complex of like, oh no, I'm just going to be bad at it. And I think one, I'll keep talking about him forever. Carlos Barboza and Oz had their like whole guerrilla Excel modeling. And like, I really had to, and that's exactly what I'm encompassing today is like doing
Yeah,
it
you
so
look
rough and
gorilla.
ugly. Thank you so much. Doing it so like rough and ugly. And then the natural consequence of a really ugly Excel model or like something clunky is the client uses it. They go, this isn't working. And then the shame, which I don't move through shame anymore, but like knowing I can do better drives me into the future. Because if I don't give them anything, they're just like, oh, it doesn't exist. But like I gave them something so not great. And the client is Lily. So like I had some creative liberty here. Um, but yeah, like by me giving her something clunky that it would take me longer to explain how it works than to just fix it,
Mhm.
created this like downhill tumble, like a Diddy Kong in that one game when he just tumbles down the hill. Offshoot reference, sorry. Um, but yes, I believe in doing shit shitty. Just like tattoo that on my forehead this month.
Shitty.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm delivering something to just one person or one client or whatever, then at least I know who my audience is. I feel like putting out a website is so scary because it's like I keep going back in my head and being like, okay, this might be somebody who has never heard of me, doesn't know anything about OA Robot. I'm trying to like get them into it. Or it could be somebody who knows a lot about Excel. They know about, like there's all these different people that I'm trying to. Some people come to me, come to the website because they want my consulting services. So I have to like cover consulting. I have to cover like advanced stuff, or people who don't even want to ever create a robot command. They just want to run robot commands because they saw some cool, TikToks of people like running robot commands. I don't know. It's like overwhelming for me to figure out like how it's like an unsolvable problem in my brain.
So, what's the smallest step you could do that would move yourself forward? But like the very smallest thing.
opening up opening up the source code and actually like putting my hands on the keyboard, because
So,
like I just have to get in there and start typing is really what I need to
but
do. And as
I
soon as
mean,
I start typing, then I'll type something that I don't like, and at least I have something that I can work
yeah,
off of.
for sure. But
um
Have
I'm just
you
thinking here about like Ian Schnorr when he says, you don't start your Excel models in Excel, right? Start them on the whiteboard.
bars?
yeah,
Do you have it mapped out? Like, could you, even before you open your source code, could you map
I
it out on your
actually asked
whiteboard or whatever?
I actually asked ChatGPT for some outlines, and it gave me some outlines. Or like, that's like not a bad starting point, as just kind of having the flow of an outline, so that you're kind of more filling in those, answering those questions or whatever. Um,
Oh,
so
speaking
that
of
was a good
which,
start, but
you can ask ChatGPT to ask you questions to fill in proper information. So that's one of my favorite ChatGPT hacks is like saying, ask me questions that would help you build a website for
that's
me to
really
do this.
good.
And then it asks you
Oh,
like the full encompassing, and you can give it context. You can also say like, so I chit chat with my ChatGPT like it's a person. It's totally like the
yeah,
movie
yeah,
Her, like we're best friends. And
yeah.
so I'm like, I want you to respond as a intelligent sparring partner that sources articles and research that supports your claims and don't just let me win. And so
Right.
you can make the ChatGPT whatever level of mean, nice, critical tech
Right.
forward, and then you can ask it to ask you, because then you don't have to think of like what to tell it.
Well, I feel like I should be using AI because it's really good at writing stuff and making it sound good and that sort of thing. But I feel like it doesn't know enough about what I need to write about for me to, if I had all of that content, then I could just put my bad version in there and say, turn this content into a better version. But I just like don't even have that. So, but I
Well,
like that. I like that idea of having it ask questions and kind of draw it out of me.
Yep.
so we've all just given you our websites too. So I actually had somebody um, do mine for me because I don't know how to code. And I mean, some of the content's out of date, but just in terms of the structure, it was actually somebody who knew how to do it, who did it for me. So if it just gives you a handle on like the consulting part.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's nice. Also,
Ooh, French.
Yeah,
the
you
uh
probably don't need that.
other part about the website is like mine is like the barest of bones. Like it just has just enough information. But then, and I had to put my pressure on myself to be like, I am giving myself until this date, and whatever I have is going on the website, I'm publishing it. And then now it's like, now I have the natural pull to be like, oh, but I want to communicate this. And so then because it's shitty and I know there's things on the internet that represent me, I'm like, oh, then I'm pulled rather than pushing myself uphill. Um, but yeah, that's a good one. Um,
I
Liana,
like it. I like
what
it.
have you been procrastinating and why? Well, you're kind of traveling, so you you get the
Yeah,
pass
I
to
have a
procrastinate.
reason. I have a weird one though. I don't know if you guys want to hear about it.
We
Oh, we
do.
do. We
Yeah.
Yep.
do.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
So I got this COVID hobby where I bought a bunch of like tax liens on vacant land in Arizona.
What?
I know.
Wait, what? That's awesome.
So, yeah, the idea is you buy these like property tax liens, and then if the owner they pay you like 16% interest on it. And if they don't pay you back, you can just take the land. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted the 16%. But I ended up like getting liens on this trash land in the middle of nowhere. And I don't think the owners want it. So I think they want me to foreclose on it. And
No
so
way.
I'm eligible to do that. And so I need to contact a lawyer and hand them like all my liens and be like, what do we do? But I've just been procrastinating on that for like 8 months.
Do you have
So I got to get on it.
more than one
Yeah,
property to
I have like
foreclose on?
I have like 9.
Oh my,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I
Now we
don't
know where we can have next year's like offsite, we could
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
our
to do a
the
rave in the
Amber and
desert.
the Amber and Friends
Yeah.
offsite in Arizona. This is
Yeah.
going to be awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
And
I'll
and
host it.
Burning Man. Yeah.
We could have
Yes,
Wow.
let's do it.
our own mini Burning Man and Liana's foreclosed
So do we
properties.
do we feel that we're procrastinating because it is boring or because it's enormous? Or like where do you feel like it's pulling from?
I think my fear is I'll talk to this small town lawyer and they'll be like, what an idiot. Like, who on a whim gets all this land that she doesn't want and doesn't know how to get? I don't know. I think that's my roadblock, but I just have to do it.
Mm. I call those moments for the plot because that's hilarious and such a good story. Like icebreaker. The fact that I didn't know it till now is a wild thing. So like the fact that you even just like stumbled across this hobby during COVID, I didn't even know those words could be put in that kind of sentence together. I'm obsessed. I think this is great. So I'll be checking in with you over the next month because or rather once you're back from your travels, because that's
Yep.
hysterical.
Okay. Okay.
Is
I'll keep
there
you guys
is there
posted.
stuff on the properties? Like are they like
One or two of
lots
them,
or
yeah, they're generally like couple acre lots. Some don't even have road access, which is a mystery. And then one or two have these like mysterious sheds, but they don't appear to be like dwellings. So I don't want to take anyone's actual house, like if they live there. But
whoa,
yeah.
yeah, you can you need to get some tiny houses and build tiny houses on them and then
Oh
resell them.
yeah. Yeah, start a commune.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed. Okay.
that's fascinating.
I know that's gonna sit in the back of the nog for a while.
How
Okay,
did
you
you get
guys
that
got me
idea?
motivated.
How did you get that idea? Like,
It's kind of embarrassing, but I read this book as a kid where the guy talked about doing tax liens, and I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna do that.
yeah, I do work for hedge funds and they do all kinds of really crazy deals. And I probably can't talk about them because it's confidential,
Yep.
but just imagine, it's that kind of thing though. It's like buying rights to things that you can get a financial gain on, and they do really creative stuff, but like big dollars.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I
Not
have
Yeah.
$400 ones. Yeah.
yeah, I have $3. How exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna sit in my brain for a while. But Emily, what have you, I mean, I don't know. I feel like your life, the perception of your life feels very systemic. So what have you been procrastinating? And where does it stem from?
This is my daughter's birthday present.
Oh,
It's a little bit not ready.
is that like,
This
what do you
is
call that hobby?
so this was part of my goals for this year is try new things, right? So this is a
Perfect.
new thing. So I started it because again, I'm an opener, not a closer.
Yep.
So I started it because that was my January goal. And then I was like, okay, but now we got to finish it. And it's for my daughter's birthday, which is in like 3 weeks. And this is the cat.
So far, so good. Now we just need some
So
legs,
we
maybe
have
some
we
ears.
have a hat. We have a head, and he's got his nose. But so it's first of all, I have to make it out of this like beigey color. But then he's like a tabby cat, so he's got to get them the gray all around it and the stripes and all of this stuff. Um, so yes, so I'm procrastinating now because now this part was the easy part, and now it's getting hard.
How old's your
And
daughter?
she's going to be 18.
You.
So, and yes, so I make her like crochet cats and crochet animals. But this was one of those things. I went to a class at this craft store and it was great. So I said, it was actually really good because I was like, I wanted to try weaving, but I decided that I would actually just sign up for a workshop that was like everything included and you didn't have to buy anything other than just, pay for the day. So I was like, this is perfect. And then I came back and all I had to do was like, I had like an hour of work to do when I finished. But it was at this craft store that had all kinds of neat new crafts. So I decided to buy the kit for this cat. And so yeah, so when my bingo came up for January, it's like, try a new craft. So I was like, perfect. I can get this done by March, middle of March, no problem. Right. No, I can't.
I feel that. One thing that you mentioned after the call last time was that your reward system for the bingo, like
Mhm.
your reward system is kind of cool because it's like logical rewards. So looking at like children, it's like, oh, if you stay out past, or like, I don't know, if you're slacking off about this, no candy for you. Like those are so disconnected from each other. Whereas making rewards and punishments in the same realm of the place they're coming from. So similar, like the when you complete a craft, you get to go buy more craft supplies, I think is a really cool way of like actually sustaining the reward cycle because a lot of times I'll have a reward like, okay, I'll reward myself with, I don't know, going to get a new pair of shoes. And it's like, then I go to the store and I'm like, oh yeah, I have free will. And then I get myself the new pair of shoes, whether I have a reward or not. So putting it in the same realm. And I've been looking at my crafts and I'm like, I'm not allowed to do anything else until this fuck ass blanket gets done, or at least turns into a scarf, or I'm bedazzling so I've got, you guys get in the secret craft channel. For the Vegas conference coming up this year, I'm going to bedazzle one of my blazers to have like pinstripe bedazzles on it. And so this weekend I've committed. I'm like, I'm going to hyper focus, going to take a Ritalin, and we're just going to craft all day long because that's a lot of like just hyper focus activity with the that stuff. So I'm channeling my inner Emily for this Saturday. Okay, speaking of crafting, so she's not on the call, but dun, da, 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 Glow Getter of the Month is going to be, let me see if I can share just the screen. I don't know if it's going to do just that picture. Oh, can we see it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Lily Valderrama, love her so much. She was the
Lily.
master of vibes. She dealt with me all of the 2 months leading up to going to the conference. She was the best sport when it came to hanging out and doing all the Excel stuff. And I think she had a pretty good time. And she was the one that was the receiver of my army battle tested power queries this month. So for her patience, bravery, and dedication to Officers of the Amber and the continuation of learning, Lily is our glow getter of the month. But she's doing a dance class that is Tate McRae themed. So I will give her the allowance to leave today. Backpedal. I'm going to take a backpedal and a sidestep. So I think la la la. Eric, your goal for this month
Oh no,
was
I'm afraid. I think it was Python.
I think it was Python, but it sounds like you've been so well actually we moved the funny thing is we moved yours down. We did OA robot updates in January and then Get Better at Social Media in February. How'd it
Is it
go?
still February?
It
Is it still
is.
February? February's not over yet. Well, actually, like there was a lot of social media activity just because of the London thing. Um, it wasn't that I did all so much posting, but I definitely got a lot of attention this month due to the London um, event.
Absolutely.
So
And you did post a few times on LinkedIn, so I feel like that does deserve some form
I
of
did.
self-reward.
I had other posts in mind that I really wanted to do, and I felt like I waited too long, and then it was like too late. Um, but I had some great pictures of me with Jack, um, and it was so nice that she kind of hosted me at her parents' house um, um, before we moved into the party flat. Um, and I really wanted to do a nice thing about that. And then I also got a picture taken with Peter Bartholomew. Do you know who that
Hmm.
is?
Mildly.
So Peter is a really deep Excel Lambda guy. Like he's like the guy who knows thunks inside and out, and he's very not visible. Like he doesn't really post much, but he answers questions and chimes in the Lambda discussion group and stuff like that. And I got my picture taken with him, and because I just think if like he's like one of my people that I really look up to, and I really wanted to do a post that he was one of the celebrities that I got to meet in London that I was really excited about because he'll just be like somebody who nobody knows or
Mm-hmm.
they a lot of people wouldn't know who he is and people deserve to know who he is. So
Absolutely.
those are my two almost posts that I think I can still do the Peter one. I'll probably just do it in are you guys part of the Lambda discussion discussion group? It's not that active. If I had more
Lam
time, I would.
Lambda
Yeah.
crew.
No, it's a
Oh,
LinkedIn group
oh.
called Lambda
Oh,
Discussion.
no, not that one.
Well, you have to send the invite. I would say
Um,
it's never too late to post anything, to be super honest, because I am the slowest at posting things, but I think everyone loves positive recognition. And then also it's like I see my social media as more of like a historian, a digital historian of my life so that I can look back on things that I've done over the years. So I can look, so I would say it's still worth posting. I look through my old photos a lot, but I like being able to also see like the interaction of like, oh, this other person commented or whatever, to be able to look back on those things. So I would say who cares about how long it's been? Because I also need to edit all the footage that Lily and I took at the London week, because at every lunch we would mic up and we would put our phones faced at each other. So we have so many conversations that I need to go watch back through. So I'll eventually be editing that. So don't worry, you will not be the last person posting about London. So
I also, part of the reason that I was putting it off is because I kept telling myself I'm not going to do it until after I get the website up. And so they're like, part of procrastination is also putting off other things that you want to do that you
Yep.
tell yourself you're not going to do until you get your goal finished. So some things don't get done because of procrastination because they pile up, and then yeah.
I feel that so specifically in my bones. And that's where I had to start. I mean, obviously, watching Netflix shouldn't be on the list of things to do, but I'm a very active series watcher. But I told myself the same thing of like, oh, I'm not allowed to do this until that. And then I realized that life is to be lived, and I have to take at least like usually I'll do like either Saturdays or Sundays to catch up on all my side quests that should have gone after the big one, but unfortunately, they're just not like the big one is gonna take too long. So then I at least feel like all of my racehorses are moving a little bit instead of all of them stuck behind the one. So, but I feel that in my bones. Side question. Do you guys know what your goals? Well, Emily, your goals come from your bingo chart, so we'll find your goals out soon. But Liana, your goal for your goal for March is the 100 push-up challenge.
Ooh.
Would you like to change, adjust, or keep it?
Is
I'll
that
keep
100
it.
all
I'll
at
keep it.
once or across multiple days?
I think I've never gotten anywhere close. I think the highest is like 20, but you're supposed to be able to get to 100 all at once. But it was created by like a dude who's 19. So yeah.
I actually have a book. So I will hang on. I think there's probably a push-up one. There's wall push-ups but if you want
I'm
it, there's a
great at
progression.
those.
What's that?
Okay, I'm great at wall push-ups.
Let's see, push-ups. Push-ups. Oh no, it's pull-ups. Push-up ladder. So this one, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, send me a
Push-up
picture of it
master.
if you think
Push-up
it's
master.
useful.
There you go.
Cool.
God gave me these shoulders and arms to make it look like I'm very athletic, but then gave me no talent, stamina, nor power. And so I look like a brick house, but am of total marshmallow on the like there's nothing in here. And then especially like when I started doing CrossFit for a little while, many moons ago, he would like throw these like huge plates on. I'm like, brother, I look like it, but there ain't nothing happening here. And then we were doing like the handstand push-ups, and I like sprained my wrist drunkenly the weekend before. And so then I was like, oh, I can't. So yeah, no, me push-ups, I wish my wrist could bend at a 90 degree because I would be in, but I could do a stiff plank for 30 seconds and maybe cry a little.
Mhm.
Okay, Eric, okay, so I would say you did get better at social media incrementally. So
I still have a week left.
exactly.
I'm gonna try to close the month and keep that in mind.
You're gonna nail it. Next month is Python and preparing for speaking engagement. Still in for that, or did you want to adjust?
Python's probably still okay. I don't know about the speaking engagement, but
What's holding you back from the speaking engagement?
well, I don't have a speaking engagement
Oh.
lined up.
Oh. We can
I
still
just
prepare for
figured
one.
I figured that I'd have the website out in January, so when I put that on there, it was like, okay, by March I should probably have something lined up that I'll be practicing for. Um, so we should probably put that off by a month.
Do we want to put oop, paste and speaking engagement prep? Do we want to put Python plus post website?
Yeah,
Let's do it. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Just so you're aware, I
Um,
will be checking in weekly and saying, what have we done? And I'm
that's
expecting a
fair.
response.
I
Okay.
like it. I like
Perfect.
it.
But if you want somebody to read as you go along, I'm fine with
Thank you,
reading.
Emily. I will take you up on that.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm illiterate, but I'm annoying. So I'll bully you into it and then she'll read it. And then betwixt the three of us, something will happen. Perfect.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Alrighty. And then Emily, yours will come soon. Man. Okay. Very cool. Last question.
But I
Okay.
have, oh, sorry, but I
Oh.
have another intermediate goal. So
Okay.
so we're going to Italy in May,
Ooh.
and because we didn't go away for spring break, we were going to go to the beach, and then it didn't work out because of hockey. So we're going to Italy for a week, and I have to be able to. I've booked. We're going up the bell tower, and we're going to Florence, so I got to go be able to walk it up and down the bell tower by May. So I
Oh my
gotta,
gosh, exciting.
so I've got to. I'm fairly confident with going up. I am not at all confident with being able to get down. So I got to practice stairs a lot for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I wish you all the luck.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, other than just climbing stairs around near your house, how do you train? How tall is the bell tower?
I think it's 400 steps.
That's a considerable amount of steps, especially with,
Yeah,
yeah.
above my ankle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got I've got a whole lot of exercises to do, but it's mostly like because my like my knee, so I gotta like do a lot of squats and stuff and try to get. I can't really squat at the moment, but because that anything that makes me do knee over toes.
I feel that. Okay, my goal for next month. So this last month was Power Query, learning a little bit of M. We made it through. Thank God it's over. Next month is really exciting with Power Apps. I'm going to be making like a very remedial version of a WMS, like a warehouse management system where I can at least enter in a barcode or scan a barcode, have it present the current inventory to me, and then me be able to adjust it and it adjusts what's in my WMS. Like that's like baseline for the month, what I want. And then if we can get to a place of inbound and outbound scanning would also be really cool, but not getting crazy. Just being able to do like very basic things in there would be wicked. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left, but I want to give people, obviously we're about to head over to OA office hours.
Oh my
So
gosh, is that starting in 5 minutes?
I
Okay.
think it is.
I need to jump in 3 minutes.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna give us all a little bit of a breather because I think Emily, are you attending as well?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Perfect. Okay, well the team's gonna hop over to that Zoom. So thank you guys all for coming and chit-chatting. And also I can't wait to explore more about the tax lien thing. That's crazy. Okay, anyways, chit-chat with y'all later.
Yeah.